It is Sunday, March 22nd. This is the A to Z of stocks. We're going to go through quite a broad array of things and see what happens. This is the first time I'm looking at it. So here we go. So we start with Alcoa down almost 9%. The March candle is bearish engulfing. Momentum started to roll over. Bearish. Airbnb, multi-year chop. Horrible. Archer Aviation down 19%. Bearish engulfing candle. Where's the floor? I mean, look at the next floor. It's around 3. That's almost that's 45% down. American Eagle, horrible. I mean, not horrible. That's horrific. Beyond horrific. Down almost 30% in the 17s. This has collapsed from the 28s to the 17s. Where's the next support? Oh yeah, 9s. 9s. It's coming down to the 9s, whether you like it or not. Momentum due to turn negative either in April or May. Probably April. AMD, actually up 0.5% on a month. You can see they're trying to find some support around the 10 of May. The February candle's bearish engulfing. It did play out because we did break a lower low. But yeah, bearish for the main market. Basic target, in my view, is 150. Yeah, 150. Momentum's prone to turning negative in May. The Barber, 5th month lower of 6, down 15%. Momentum will turn negative no later than April the 1st. Bearish China, bearish communism, bearish Baba. Bank of America, 3rd month lower. January candle, bearish engulfing. Actually, it was marginal. But 3rd month down, we are sustainably under the 10 May, down 4.8%, 47s. Basic target, 42s. Momentum has turned negative. Most won't care. You should care, though. It kind of matters. Bearish defense. BlackRock, down 9.5%. They're bouncing off the lows a little bit, but bearish. Basic target is around, what's this threshold? I'll call it 820. Momentum increasingly negative. Bearish BlackRock. And from BlackRock to Blackstone, down 2.5%. Look at the February candle under price threshold. Lower high, lower low, bearish. Where are we going? I mean, really, where are we going to go in this one? 80s, $80 looks pretty easy. 80 to 82. You got to wonder about maybe 64. Momentum is increasingly negative, in fact, very negative right now. Bearish, the financials. Kamiko. January was an exhaustion high. March candle is a bearish engulfing, 101. Where are we going to come down to? 62 maybe? Bearish. Carnival. Carnival actually has earnings on Friday, which should be okay, but the outlook should be a concern based on sustainably high fuel costs and a consumer that will not want to be doing traveling if there's as there is a war ongoing. So look, it's down 23%. Basic target is around 22s. Below that, we're looking at $15. So yeah, target is around 15. When a ship goes down, you better be ready. Cleveland Cliffs, horrible. 26% down in the 7s. Basic support, 5.5. This is terrible. There's nothing good there. Momentum is due to turn negative as of April the 1st. Bearish. CNX, don't particularly care. Deckers, down 14% and at $100. I mean, looks like we're going to come back down to this level from November, the 78s. Momentum remains negative. Energy Transfer, we have a marginal double top. Momentum prone to turning positive though. Again, I wouldn't be bearish the energy stocks, I'll say that. Ford, horrible, down 18%. We have a short-term exhaustion top in February. We're 11.5. Basic target is around 10. Under that, looks like 8. Looks like 8 even is coming. Momentum's going to turn negative in either April or May. Bearish. Freeport McMoran, down 23%. We have it's not a bearish, well, it is, actually is a bearish engulfing candle. Yeah, it is. Bearish engulfing candle down 23.5% in the 52s. Basic target is what, 45? Under that, maybe we can look for 35. Yep, 35 probably. GE Aerospace, bearish engulfing candle. We're under the 10 MA. We haven't settled under the 10 MA since, well, I guess it's borderline, but bearish. Basic target, I mean, really, $200 minimum. You could argue 158, which is last April's low. Regardless, the direction is clearly down. Google, February candle was bearish engulfing. That's playing out. It is holding up relatively okay. It's still down 3%, but basic target 10 MA 266. That can't be expected to hold. I think we have a good chance of coming down to around 200, 206 high there. That's 33% down. Momentum is weakening, but it won't turn negative in April. Maybe in May. Maybe if the April candle's like there, the May candle will turn negative. Intel, 3 candles, all spiky. So it's actually down 3.8% on the month. But yeah, the bulls are selling. They're selling into the strength. Basic target for 10 MA 35s. Maybe support around 31 to 27-ish. Momentum's only just started to roll over. Joby, down 8%. Bearish with the main market. 9s, next support around 7s. Momentum has turned negative. KB Homes, down 19.5%. Horrible. Basic target, $40, which is another 21% down. KKR, this is my prime short. Currently up 2.5% on the month. It's mostly just churning around. Basic target is 80 and then 60. 60 is 33% down. I think 60 is coming. Maybe not until May or June though. Momentum is very low, but there's no sign of a floor. $60 looks realistic. Kinder Morgan, new historic high, if currently down 1.3%. Momentum is positive, still bullish. Lithium Americas down 26%. Again, the main market will just pull this down towards the mid to low twos. Horrible. Lockheed Martin, new historic high, but even this one has been dragged down by the main markets. It's down 4%, 627s. I wouldn't short it. I mean, you wouldn't want to short a defense stock during a war. That wouldn't be such a great idea. But yeah, the problem is the main market. Of course, this will leave it alone. Cheniere Energy, new historic high, up 19%. Very impressive. So it did print 299. It is currently, though, 280. You got to think, considering nat gas prices are still relatively low, a push above 300 looks realistic. Oh yeah, look at this. Momentum has turned positive. Should tick upwards into the summer. Look at the volume as well. Buyers flooding in. Big money buyers. That's a good sign. It's a very good sign. Las Vegas Sands, multi-decade chop. It's a dead money company. Meta Platforms, down 8%. They delayed their AI. Their metaverse is a joke. They need to change their name back to Facebook. This meta crap is just stupid. Basic target is around 500 right now. Bearish Zuckerberg. Mosaic, down 4%. I'm not sure on where the hell their fertilizer companies are located, but of course there is a fertilizer shortage. So they were initially up, but you could argue the main market is dragging them back down. Somewhat surprising, but you know, look at the volume. Highest volume since summer of 22. Momentum is fractionally negative. I can understand some people buying it, but again, the problem is If the S&P is 5,500 or lower, what's this going to be then? It's going to be under 21, right? Bearish. MP Materials, bearish engulfing candle, down 14% in the 50s. My target is $30. Morgan Stanley, February candle, bearish engulfing. Lower high, lower low, bearish, down 3%. Basic target 138. You could even argue we're going to come down to around 90 odd bucks again. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. There we go. Here we go. Momentum should turn negative in April. Yep. Yep. Morgan Stanley is going down, bearish. Micron. New historic high, 471. Still a net high for them, up by 2.5%. But look at these candles. Spiky, spiky, spiky. You could argue that this is bullish exhaustion. Earnings were superb, but support will be the 10 MA 251. That's a long way down. One of the last things to short though. Netflix. It's being dragged out back down by the main market, down 4.5%, 91s. Original target of 70 never did get hit. You got to think. I think it looks like there's a chance of that now. Yep. Occidental up 14.9% on higher oil. Again, I would look again. This is important. This is an extremely important price threshold. If you see Occidental get a monthly close above 72, now that's not going to happen clearly this month. It might happen in April. If April closes above 72, then we can start thinking about $100. I like the company. Pfizer down 2.5%, dragged down by the main market. Not a fan for obvious reasons. Palantir bouncing 9.8%, but look at this spiky candle from the 10 MA. The sellers are out there. They're selling into the bounce. 150. My target is $100. That looks pretty easy. Momentum did turn negative. So despite the fact that we're up this month, momentum turned negative. Bearish Palantir. PayPal 4.5%. It's a zombie stock. Transocean. Again, if you want an oil company, there's Exxon or Chevron or Occidental. Rocket Lab. Again, a company raised $1 billion a week ago, which is good news for the long term, but it's vulnerable to being dragged down by the main market. So exhaustion spiking in January from 99. Basic target 10 MA. I think there's a chance we'll get down to $40. In fact, yeah, we could easily print 40. Momentum's weakening. Short-term bearish. Schwab. February candle. Bearish engulfing. Down 0.5%. Bearish for the rest of the financials. I would note the April low of 65. That looks realistic. Momentum is going to turn negative no later than April the 1st. Bearish Schwab. Schlumberger. New cycle high, but a full reversal. Down 9% relative to Occidental. Why is this one down so much and Occidental's up? I don't know. But definitely Occidental is the better performer right now. SMR down another 11% on the month to $11. Next support, what are we looking at here? Sixes. Yeah. Horrible. Target. 0.5% down. The March candle is spiky. You're going to think it'll be dragged down by the main market to some extent. It's not a good short though, clearly. Tesla. The third consecutive monthly decline, down 8.5%, 367s. Note the spike from around the 10 MA. They're selling into the bounces. Next support is around 273. And note last April's low, the Trump tariff low of 214. Momentum. Oh, look at this. Momentum is going to turn negative as of April 1st. Wow. Wow. That's very bearish. Yeah. The more aggressive bears, we're looking for 214. TSM down 11%, bearish. Take two. The fifth monthly decline of six, $200. Basic targets around 135. United Airlines down 15%. Again, main market's not helping, nor is higher fuel prices. We have an exhaustion top, multiple spikes spanning a year. Bearish, bearish, bearish. 89s, basic target 70. Momentum has just turned negative as of Friday. Bearish United. Uber, the sixth consecutive monthly decline, down 2%, 73s. Basic target 65, maybe we're looking at maybe 47, 48. Uranium Energy, note the January candle was very spiky. Exhausted bears, correction, exhausted bulls. And now the selling is increasing, down 21%. What are we going to come down to? I mean, really, sixes? That's 50% down. UPS, great company, great service, but down 17%. Horrible. We're back under the trend, which was so we have a failed breakout. We're now testing this threshold. There's no reason to expect this to hold. Basic target are the October 79s. Good company. Momentum might turn negative in May. Warner Brothers being bought out. Don't care. Wells Fargo, third month down. February candle was bearish engulfing. That's played out. Basic target at the 57s. Momentum has turned negative. Bearish the financials. Exxon, new historic high. Up 5%. Impressive. Is that it? Are we done? We are. Okay, what else do we want to cover? We could talk oil for a little bit, maybe. Let's have a look at the oil chart. So you got to wonder how the market's got to open on Monday. I don't know. I'm assuming, of course, that based on endless Trump threats, the market's going to be down at least another percent, maybe even 2% on Monday, maybe even 3. And then it's like, well, okay, what about oil? If equities are down 2-3%, maybe. What's oil? What's oil up? 10%? When it gets back to 110, which should be around here, I will say momentum has been declining, but it's not going to decline on Monday morning, is it? It's going to jump back up. Some perspective. For the week, oil was actually down 62 cents, which is kind of bizarre, but you know, you could argue it's just consolidation. Again, the real issue for oil is that people have no perspective. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It doesn't. Again, I've said it before. It doesn't matter whether we close March above or below 100. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that momentum turned positive in February. Nobody cares about that. That's the real irony here. People getting obsessed about, oh, it's not going to be about, it's not going to hold above 100. You're like, well, this is what really mattered, right? What do you think? What do you think the next bar's going to be? It's going to be somewhere up here. What do you think the bar for May is going to be? It's going to be somewhere up here. June, July. We only had a buy signal in February. Maybe you want to look at this. There's a buy signal in December of 2020 when oil was 33. 33. Oil then went up 300% to 126 on Russia Ukraine. Now we have oil going from a buy signal when we had oil around what was it there? 60, let's call it 60, let's call it 65. Times it by 4. What does that give you? Oh, that's right. $260. Let's just call it 250. $250 oil. Now again, this cycle will probably play out faster than this one. This one took was it November, December, right? So it's one. Yeah, this cycle took about a year and a quarter to play out. But you got to wonder. I saw a post from Armstrong earlier talking about he's looking for a panic cycle in oil in June. Like, all right, maybe we'll see $200 oil in June. Hell, maybe even higher. Who knows? But the trend is up. And again, most people out there are just overly obsessive about stupid stuff like, what if oil can't hold 100? It's like, the bulls have got nothing to prove. We've only just had a buy signal, you morons. You stupid, trivializing morons. Yeah. I expect better. I really do. Nobody cared. Nobody cared about that. They just didn't care. No one cares. It's like, fine. Go short oil. Go short oil and see how that works out. I dare you. A little perspective. The all-time high for oil was 147 in July 2008. We're going above that. It's just a matter of when. Is it before the end of the March? Probably not. Is it in April? That's pretty realistic. Is it going to happen by May, June? Probably. I certainly think we're going to see 147 tested by mid-year. That looks pretty easy now. Even some of the mainstream hacks starting to talk about oil going to 147/150. Bullish oil. And of course, there's nat gas. We'll briefly get a quick sneaky look at that. Nat gas is on the low end. Friday's candle was a reversal, bullish for Monday. More broadly, nat gas is on the low end. It's on the low end. Look, it was 565 there. It's 310 now. This is cheap. Grander perspective. Typically, $3 is a very key threshold. Don't be surprised if we see nat gas go to 450. It's all considering the Middle East. It's almost a wonder the nat gas isn't around 10, which is where it was in late 2022. Momentum is actually weakening. It's fractionally positive. Oh my goodness. What else is there? Oh, we'll end with the S&P. Why not? Let's just do that. Um, yeah, that's the chart. That's the one that matters. So we have 7 trading days left of the month. S&P down 372, 5.4%. This candle, distinctly bearish. Oh, look at that. Isn't that interesting? I've been saying it for weeks now. Very similar to last March. What do you think the April candle is going to be, huh? Seriously, what do you think it's going to be? 56, 5,500, somewhere around here. Probably. Probably, right? Momentum, as of Friday, momentum turned negative. It might pop positive in the before the end of the month, but as of April the 1st, it will turn sustainably negative, at least into May. And I would keep an eye on the 50 MA, which is 51.49. Oh, and one other little thing. Yeah. A subscriber prodded me on this. Maybe they're even listening. But regardless of whatever happens on Monday, we do have some legacy downside gaps to be concerned about. We have 6 downside gaps to go from last June to last April. The lowest is around 51, is at 51.58. Typically, index gaps will get filled sooner or later. We have 6 gaps all the way to 51.58. Now, they might not be filled by until May or June, but This is something to keep in mind for the next couple of months. So I've added it to my chart. Um, and by the way, yeah, look, if we bounce, well, not if, but when we bounce, what's the big resistance is going to be over 200-day, right? Right? I'll even cover this. What are we going to cover? 2025. There we go. In a 2000, again, every cycle is unique, but in the 2025 cycle, what I find interesting is that the bounce took us up to around the 200-day, right? That used to be support here, and then of course in late March that rolled over for 3-4 days. Then we had a lower low, but we had a little baby bear flag play out. Bam, bam, and then we have our capitulation floor marked by a reversal candle, a big one. Again, the bigger the reversal candle, the more important they are. So maybe we should be looking at something like this. Maybe a couple of down days next Monday, Tuesday, and then back test for 200-day, and then reverse down. Again, every cycle is unique, but there are things that the market loves to do. When it breaks for 200-day, in many cases, it will try and come back up. In fact, look at this. They bounced it on this bounce here. Look, they spiked it, cooled back, pushed again, spike, spike. That's a reversal candle, by the way, there. Lower low, but then we gapped up here. I don't know what the gap here was up on the 24th for. I don't know what that was about. So that would have been a Monday, right? Monday, the 24th of March was a pretty damn bullish day, but again, then the sellers came in, and then down we went like a rock. That was a big old drop, almost 1,000 points across. Well, there you go, 951 points, 16% across 10 days. And again, the most notable thing is that bear flag. That faked out a lot of people. And then we just had these big sequential gap downs, big ones. Anyway, I want to go back to my monthly chart. And that's what matters. Momentum is negative. We have a sell signal. We're going down. Personally, I like the financials and the airlines on the short side. Of course, there's also long oil. And so yeah, regardless of whatever happens early Monday, that's just intraday noise, right? What matters is this, which you're staring at right now. That's what matters. I have to assume the April candle will be somewhere down to at least here. Maybe we'll get down to the little green line around. I mean, look, the green line, the 50 MA, 51.49. That would give everybody a good scare. That's like 20, 26, 27% down. Anyway, I wish you a good Sunday evening. Do not look at the futures wheel. I'm going to try not to look at it. I might do. I don't know. I generally don't. I'm kind of curious though, because again, we know what's going to happen, right? If the market drops hard on Monday, Trump's going to be looking to pump it back up. We know that's what he does. He's obsessed with the equity market. It's the one thing he can still. Well, it's the one thing he's losing control of in terms of being able to stay with a straight face. The equity market's done this and that, and it's game over. So yeah, whatever happens, we should be net lower anyway, significantly into and across April. Or maybe you want to listen to the Kramer. I think some of you should probably do that. On that snarky note, have a good week.